Good afternoon, hockey fans from the Cockburn Ice Arena. This is Chris Langell bringing you the analysis, accompanied by Amy Hubble on the play-by-play. Welcome back to the booth, Amy.
Very excited to be here right now. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a great tournament so far for both these women and for the under 15 boys. We just saw two phenomenal semifinals, and we're looking forward to a couple of decent ones here between the ACT and Queensland sides, and later on the WA and
South Australia.
South Australia, of course.
I did a little sound clip during that last game just to hear the noise in the house. The WA fans are intense.
Yes, and I see we got a bunch of the Queensland teams, the Tange and the Ginsberg. Is it the Ginsberg or DeFries team?
The DeFries team is here because they have Coach Abby Brown as the captain of this team.
Of course.
So they're on the glass cheering for her, and the Tange team just arrived. They're here in the top row, sitting very calmly collected.
Yes, probably a bit tired from the flight over, or did they get back in this morning, did they?
They just arrived, yeah.
Good stuff. So, player lineups for today. The away team on the camera to our left, defending the goal to our left to start the game, is the ACT. Excuse me. Lining up for ACT, number 2, Ebony Brunt. And she's at or near the top of the scoring race, from what I understand, with 16 points.
Yep.
Ava Pickering, number 7. Number 8, Madison Sargent. Number 11, the veteran after who the tournament is named, Stephanie BOXALL. Number 12, Lucy York, 3rd in the scoring race with 13 points. Number 13, Elizabeth Mutton. Number 14, Jessica Forward. Number 16, Diamantina Dowell. Number 17, Andillian Kenyon. Number 5 in the scoring race. Number 18, Angela Stokes. Number 19, Nikita Horvath. Number 20, Nikita King. Another WA player playing for ACT. And in goal, number 1, Ruby Abbott-Monix, with an .859 goal save percentage so far in the tournament. Head coach Chris Danke and assistants Madeline Prescott and Jake Goodwin. Team manager is Victoria Edwards.
And I'll head over to the Queensland side now. We have number 5, Charlotte Kelly, number 7, Jasmine Gray, number 8, Courtney Mahoney, who is an alt captain, number 9, Renee Perry, number 11, Soren Powell, number 12, Crystal Goulter, number 15, Grace Duffy, number 20, Kate Barber, number 22, and another alt captain, Jamie Goonan, number 23, captain, Abby Brown, number 24, Amanda Dixon, 28, Lisa McMahon, 29, Georgia Watts, 66, Kate Sinclair, and the goalies are number 31, who will be starting today, Katie Meyer with a 94.2% save percentage, and Alana Pierce, number 2, who played earlier this morning. Head coach Matt Meyer, assistant coach Charles Rivard-Cloutier, team manager Lee Brown, and our equipment manager is Kristen Schlenker.
Looking forward to a great matchup. Four official crew working the semifinal. Referee Owen Coral and Nick Eyre, assisted on the lines by Jameson Harris and Stuart Willis.
We saw Queensland this morning switch up their lines and try to take a more relaxed approach, knowing that they were going to head in for number 1 position today, no matter what happened at their earlier game. It was a good win for Western Australia. Some of the Queensland players did get a little bit frustrated to lose that game, but hopefully that will pay off and that they will have saved the reserves a little bit for this game. ACT, I expect, is going to throw everything they have at Queensland right now.
That's right. We're looking for another exciting semifinal between number 1 and number 4. Queensland finishing 1st overall, ACT 4th overall. As we're just trying to get some cameras adjusted for the changing conditions, because we got skylights here. Every time the sun comes out, it changes the brightness on the camera. So producer Cass Edwards is frantically trying to get that adjusted in time for the game, but it will change throughout the game. So apologies for that. We can't do anything about the sun.
I spoke with cameraman Riley Langell earlier today, and he said he wasn't even cold. He's just staying up there. He's doing a great job. He's a soldier. Look
at the blanket he's got on his legs. So earlier in this tournament, ACT, and I'm just looking at the results. ACT, Oz, South Australia. Oz, Western Australia. Queensland defeated ACT 3-1 in the round robin part of the portion of this tournament. So we'll just see how it lines up. Certainly, Queensland has the firepower. Some beautiful goals scored this morning by Watts and by Courtney Mahoney in the final round robin game as the two teams lined up at center ice to get ready for the puck drop.
Ebony Brunt's going to take the face-off against Kate Sinclair, number 66 for Queensland. Nick Era looking happy. And that puck goes back to ACT, and they're off to a hot start. It's going to get picked up immediately by Amanda Dixon, but powering through is Brunt. Brunt gets it into the zone. Barber sends it across to Watts. Watts leaves it behind for Powell. Powell's going to move that puck forward, and it gets picked off again by York. York, a danger. Dixon's on duty. She goes back, sends it around behind the net over to Kate Barber to try to break out. Brunt's already on her, trying to get her stick on that play. It does come out of the zone, however. Alt captain Brunt re-entering the zone now, sticked away. Body's flying a little bit, doesn't go out of the zone. York takes a little shot in and goes for a change as she put that into the corner. Powell trying to power that through and getting some assistance from Kate Sinclair, but it's still in the zone. This is going to be a physical game. Soren Powell takes it around to the other side, gives it up to Kate Barber. Kate Barber's being hunted. She moves the toe drag past the ACT player and finally moving out of Queensland territory. She takes it back in just momentarily. She has Powell behind her and she's just going to keep skating with that puck. BOXALL is watching. Meanwhile, the captain, Abby Brown, coming in now, taking away the puck. Stephanie BOXALL sets it up, sends it over to number 8. 8 takes a shot, goes a little bit wide, but redirected by Katie Meyer. That was Madison Sargent who attempted that shot. Abby Brown now trying to take it away. So ACT is doing what they want to do. They're keeping it in the Queensland zone. Finally coming out, allowing some change for Queensland, and Sargent's going to get that just inside the zone. Courtney Mahoney takes it away. She has an opportunity. She has Jasmine Gray getting into position. She leaves it out for Gray. Gray taps it, save from Abbott Monix. Back over to Sinclair. Sinclair sends it in a little bit wide. I think BOXALL maybe got her stick on that one. Gray is there, but back to Sinclair. Sinclair, who plays is from Canada, sends it out to Duffy. Duffy taking a shot, blocked, almost a turnover. That one stopped by BOXALL right in front of the net. Gray stops that one from BOXALL, redirects it back around behind the net. It looks like possibly number 18 picked that one up, Angela Stokes, and sends it back out, comes out of the zone onto the stick of York. York being watched by Barber and Duffy. She gets in front of the net, and a goal for ACT.
Yeah, she was being hooked on that play. There would have been a penalty call. It would have been interesting if it hadn't have gone in as to whether a penalty shot would have been called. But York goes in, beats two defenders, splits the seam. One hand on the stick, brings it to the front of the net and buries the 5-hole goal.
Probably York from Brunt.
I believe York from Brunt, and inside the blue line, I forget who tipped that to Brunt. Might have been Pickering that got it up to Brunt, but I'm not sure.
Sinclair all business, ready for that face-off. Queensland's going to try to move it in. Dixon sends it into the zone, sending it back out again. Now we're going to re-enter the zone. Dixon sends it in, almost gets to the net, not quite. Number 16, Diamantina Dowell, sending it around the boards, back out, coming out of the zone now. Powell's stopping it, trying to bobble it, gets it to Sinclair. Sinclair's going to re-enter the zone with one hand, still moving that puck back over to number 13 now, Mutton. Mutton trying to move the puck, gets it over to Kenyon. Kenyon entering the zone, and Powell takes it away from her. Powell now making a move. She gets it away, and she's keeping it away from Stephanie BOXALL. Powell's going to enter the zone. BOXALL is trying everything to stop her. Powell sends it right in front of the net, but none of her players are there, and she's going to go back out and cover. Meanwhile, Kelly Perry goes past. This is line 3 now for Queensland, and Pickering's making a fast move. Dixon off the boards. Comes back out to Sargent. Sargent back over to BOXALL. BOXALL's going to enter the zone. She takes a slapper, blocked. Perry sends it back out over to Stokes, number 18, picking that up and coming back around the other side, coming back out of the ACT territory. If Goonan can keep it in, she will. And that one pops out into the bench.
That goal, her 8th of the tournament, including round robin, number 12, York, sent in alone, split the defense. Brunt and Stokes with the assist at 12:47 of the first period.
Here we go deep into ACT territory. At 11:25, we are even 1-1 for shots and 1 goal to ACT. That one controlled by Brown, goes back to Goonan. Goonan sends it into the corner. Brown trying to get there, but it looks like Kenyon might first. Kept in by Duffy. Duffy sends it back in behind the goal again. ACT there. Jasmine Gray trying to get towards it. Goonan stops it with her feet. As I said, Goonan's a powerhouse. She's played Worlds a few times representing Australia. So has Mahoney. But that puck is coming out on the stick of ACT. Number 17. Moving that forward was Andillian Kenyon. Stuck outside of the zone. York is there, fighting for it. Duffy keeps it out. I think it's still number 17. D-to-D pass, setting it up over to Jasmine Gray. Jasmine Gray backhands it in onto the goalie for the second shot for Queensland, and frozen.
It will be called a shot, but definitely not one of those shots that you probably want to call a shot, as it just rolled in onto her.
I'd be celebrating myself, I got a shot on. It's a national tournament semifinal.
Yeah, I kind of know that feeling these days.
Face off ready. Sinclair ready to get that against a BOXALL, it looks like. And still struggling to control it. Sinclair stopping that bobbling puck and sending it back around the board. Huge hit. Arm in the air.
Both stripes have their arms in the air, and that'll be an interference call.
Interference. It was Georgia Watts who took the hit. We're going to welcome a player into the penalty box with us. That's going to be Angela Stokes. 2 minutes for interference. I was commenting on my own social media earlier how intimidating it is to talk about the penalty while you have the penalty getter in the box with you. 2 minutes brings us down.
I like to say nice things about the people with the penalty.
I'm not going to say mean things. 8:27 is when that should come off. We know that the clock here in the rink is not working for the penalties. That one kept in by Mahoney. Mahoney sending it over to the corner. Dixon not able to get a shot on, but Mahoney now redirecting that puck and trying to make room. She takes a shot and a bit of garbage in front of the net, but a save from Abbott Monix. 141 still remaining on the power play for Queensland penalty kill. Penalty kill percentage right now, from what I've looked up for ACT, they are 78% on that penalty kill. Power play percentage for Queensland is about at 50% at the moment. Sinclair sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney takes another shot. And a goal from Courtney
on
Mahoney.
The power play. Well, we won't have to wait for that one to expire. And that's Mahoney, I believe, gets the goal.
Definitely Mahoney. I can't remember who I said she got it from. Watts, probably. Looks like Watts.
Potentially. We'll see what happens on the esports report. But tie game, nonetheless. Courtney Mahoney comes through again for the Queensland side to tie this score 1-1. 10:02 to go in the first period.
Stephanie BOXALL taking the face-off against Renee Perry. Again, third line for Queensland out. Perry wins that face-off, gets it to Duffy. Duffy sends it forward onto the stick of Stokes. Stokes sends it back down to Duffy. And powering through her is, I think that's Pickering perhaps, and a whistle.
And that puck just sat loose under the pad of the goaltender for anybody to grab, but the referee lost sight of it, blew it down.
Katie, again, this is her first game of the day. Katie Meyer, she'll be looking to settle her nerves, focus in. And BOXALL is going to take that face-off against Sinclair. That one controlled by ACT. And Pickering trying to get it back to BOXALL. It's pushed out of the way, back over to the other side to Goonan. Goonan takes a hard shot over to Georgia Watts up the left-hand side. And Stokes hooks her, and another arm in the air, and Pickering touches it for another whistle on ACT. We're going to welcome her back into the box. I think Pickering this time.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Maybe not.
Number
I'm not
18,
sure.
Stokes.
Number 18, Stokes again.
And that was unfortunate as she sticks her stick out, and the Queensland player leans into it, and down she goes for
Tripping
a 2-minute penalty. So that goal, Mahoney from Sinclair on the power play, 10:02 to go in the period.
Perry's going to take another face-off, this time against Brunt. Brunt wins that, gets it back to her player. Moving up the boards, dump down, clear. Gunin's going to chase it. She's got number 17, Mutton, coming fast at her. Gunin controlling that with her body, keeping her body in front of the puck, and back around we go. Over to the other side for Charlotte Kelly, if she can get there, and picked off by number 2, Brunt. Brunt now controlling that. She sends it across, misses her player. Kelly coming to the other side to stop number 12, York. York coming in, taken away by Gunin. Gunin redirecting around the other side. She's hit into the boards. Mutton trying to do something, trying to get it over to York. It's an effective penalty kill strategy on behalf of ACT. Back around the goal we go. Back over to Gunin. Gunin now having a look, sending it forward, gets it to Charlotte Kelly. Kelly now sends it in after the red line, goes into the corner. It is a power play for Queensland, but they're letting it just go back and forth. ACT clears it again. Picked up now by Mahoney. Looks like Queensland's sending out a new line to get things going. They were letting some players rest. Mahoney now with speed, entering the zone, takes a shot. Oh, nice block by Abbott Monix. Meanwhile, the clock is showing 0, so it's quite confusing for the person with the penalty sitting with us, but we know the time. They will be released at the appropriate time.
Back
Sinclair.
on the ice at 7:33. She's back on the ice.
7:33. It's currently 8:10 on the clock. That one trickles out. Dixon has to reset. She sends it back to Sinclair. Pickering hunting. Sent back into the right-hand side to Mahoney. Mahoney has a great shot. So does Watts. She's pulling it back, dragging in the player, making space. Gives it over to Watts. Watts back to Mahoney. Mahoney walks the line, takes a beautiful shot, but it's a bit high and wide. Hits the glass. Back over to Dixon. Dixon backhands it around the boards, trying to get it to Brown. Brown trying to keep away from BOXALL. Gets it back to Dixon. Dixon sending it back across to Mahoney. Mahoney's going to take another shot, blocked by the leg of Mutton. And now we're 5-on-5 again. There's still a bit of mess there around the net. Watts setting it up, back over again. I think that Sinclair set it out, just missed Brown. And Queensland needs to reset. Dixon now off the boards. Oh no, just sent it straight back down the ice. ACT and Queensland both go for full line changes. There was only about one player left on the ice who didn't change for ACT and the goalies, of course. Here we go, back down the other way. Number 17, Andillian Kenyon trying to get that moving. Lisa McMahon's using her body. Perry's trying to stop it, and it's still moving. Perry's lost her stick. ACT looking for an opportunity. Very, very messy right now in front of the net, and players rolling all around. Powell sends that out, but it goes up to, I think that's number 8, Sargent. Sargent hits it back in. Back off the board, stopped again by Sargent. Sargent again off the board. She's trying to get it back to Andillian Kenyon. Powell moving that puck, but it's stopped by York at that time. She's trying to get it back to Kenyon. And again, Queensland needing to move it. We've got Courtney Mahoney now being able to do that. She's got to get around the players. She's stripped of the puck, leaving an opportunity for Kenyon. Kenyon again entering the zone. She's working hard. You can see ACT really wants this one. Abby Brown using her body, pushes her off of the puck. A shot from Sargent, now picked up by Abby Brown, the captain. Captain for Queensland. She's got Mahoney on the boards, goes in the zone. Mahoney gets it past the ACT player, but not into the play of her partner. Dixon going to make an effort to enter the zone now while one of her players falls back. She takes a shot. She had a beautiful goal this morning. Good leg save there from Abbott Monix. 5:53 remaining in the first period. We are tied 1-1. The away team has 2 shots. Breakaway by Mahoney. Good save. Rebound and a goal on the rebound. And I think that is our bin chicken who might have picked that one up. I'm not sure. I can't see.
Lovely rush. Mahoney picks up the puck at the blue line, breaks in down the slot.
Amanda Dixon for the goal.
Fires it, trying for the 5-hole. The rebound comes out, and Dixon, as Amy said, picks up the garbage and buries it for a 2-1 Queensland lead.
That means 2 goals for Amanda Dixon in one day. She's having a great day. First goal of this game for her. We're up 2-1 for Queensland. ACT has 2 shots on. They're going to look to do something else. As I said, they controlled that play for the beginning of the game. They kept it in the Queensland zone. They're going to try to do the same. Queensland's going to start turning up the tempo. Fighting for that in the boards right now is Barber, and a lot of help from Sinclair and Gunin. Goes into ACT territory, over to Diamantina Dowell, back to York. Meanwhile, Watts lost an edge. York's making a move. She shovels it down. It's going to go past the goalie and called for icing.
Yeah, York working hard to try and make something happen here. She's just as good and just as hard on the back check on the previous series before the goal, getting back and stealing the puck off the Queensland attacker and going the other way. So she seems to do that pretty consistently.
She is a strong player. You can see why she's on the leading points list. Face off deep in ACT territory to the left-hand side of the goalie. That one won by Perry. Over to Goonan. Goonan trying to make something of it. Flips it over the goalie. Back to the other side for Watts. Watts sending it back around the boards, and it looks like number 77, Island Kenyon, picking that up. Watts tries to stop it. Powell's there. Her leg actually stopped it, but I don't think she realized it. York's making a move now, and she had Kenyon 17 on the blue line waiting for it. Comes around. Kate Barber getting there. Poked away by Kenyon. And back around the other side, number 14 looking to make a shot, but it was taken away momentarily by Watts. That one off the boards. Dowell trying to make a play. Watts pushing her into the boards. That one bounces off of Brunt's body. Perry's fighting for it. Everybody's fighting for it. Watts says she's going to take control. She's doing everything she can. Number 20, King, fell down at that move. There's no arms in the air, however. I think that was fair play. Back to King. King passes it across while half of her line is going for a change, giving Jasmine Gray an opportunity. Scooped away by number 19, Horvath. Horvath lost the puck on the boards right in front of us, and now that we have a giant battle right in front of our faces, and comes out on the stick of Abby Brown. Abby Brown sends it into the corner and back around the net to safety for Queensland. Number 18, Stokes, sends it back the other direction. Brown's going to get there. She's wanting to set something up. She's looking for somebody. No players in the slot at the moment. Jasmine Gray might be going there. Okay, Mahoney now sends it back to Duffy. Goes a little bit past her stick, but Duffy takes a shot blocked by Mutton. And back out the other side there. Yep. Now picked up by Dixon. Dixon sending it back in and gets past Stokes this time on the stick of Courtney Mahoney. A shot and a save. And coming around the other way, up the boards. Duffy watching it, and she's not quite able to stop it, but Dixon will. Dixon has Pickering coming after her. Back over to Mahoney. Mahoney getting past Stokes. Mahoney takes another shot. A good save. She's out of control. The goalie has to stretch out as far as she can to put her glove on that.
I think her teammate was a bit scared of tapping it back to her in case it went through her into the net. So
reasonable fear.
Sometimes happens. I've seen
No
it.
one wants a home goal, especially not at this level. We are 9 shots to Queensland, 2 shots for ACT. That one controlled by Sinclair for Queensland. Rolls past the goalie. Charlotte Kelly's going to pick it up on the other side. She's sending it around. BOXALL has it now. BOXALL trying to send it out, but Amanda Dixon with it. Back into the corner to Sinclair. She taps it back, and Pickering tips it off, but Dixon keeps it in. Sends it back to BOXALL. BOXALL having a look. She flicks it down the ice. And 2 Queensland players going for it. Dixon sends it back to Sinclair. Sinclair is able to send it back in the zone, but Stokes has control. Stokes taking her time, sends it up and around the boards to Mutton. Mutton's blocked by Georgia Watts and finally gets it out of the zone past McMahon. That time Powell slaps it across, but picked off by BOXALL. Ladies using their bodies now. I love it. They're stopping that play in a nice, clean shoulder-to-shoulder check. York's shot blocked by his stick goes up to the glass and back down again. Powell flicks it out, but it's picked up by York again. Players down in front of the goal, trying to get back up again. Kenyon gets it back to BOXALL, and now Amanda Dixon sending it back around to the other side, trying to get it to Georgia Watts. Georgia Watts fighting for it. She gets it, and it's coming out of the zone just past York, but York's going to collect it while Sinclair goes back for a change. She sends it to Kenyon. Back over to Dixon, almost loses an edge. And that puck is just bouncing on the blue line. Dixon now with another opportunity. As I said, she's a danger today, but that one's controlled, scooped in by the other Kenyon and controlled by ACT. Now Abby Brown, fresh legs on the ice, coming in. I think that's Dowell. Yep, Dowell sending it back to the other side. Brown sending it back into Dowell and Courtney Mahoney. Courtney Mahoney, alt captain, trying to get it back to Goonan. Goonan stops it, sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney trying to set something up, gets it over to the captain, and a goal from Abby Brown. I believe that will be her 4th goal of the tournament.
Yeah,
possibly
I think
5th.
she had 2 this morning.
You said 3 when we looked earlier, and I'm not sure if it was after that goal. So she's 3 or 4, right?
I believe she's on 4. You see on the replay here. Fired across the crease, and Brown from the faceoff dot She buries it. Nice goal by the captain for Queensland, Abby Brown. Make the score 3-1.
10 shots for Queensland, 2 for ACT. ACT has got a lot of talent on their team, and they will be looking to make a move. Lisa McMahon taking that face-off. It was won by ACT. Back over to Kenyon. Kenyon fighting with Barber for it into the boards. Now Duffy hits it. Duffy's going to try to stop it again. It's coming back behind her. McMahon supporting. 2 ACT players coming in on Meyer. Meyer freezes it.
Nice save by Meyer. So that goal, Brown from Mahoney and Watts, 129. And the second Queensland goal, Dixon from Mahoney and Brown at 5:44 to make the score 3-1.
McMahon still in center, and I can't quite make out the number on the ACT player. Probably Brunt. Yes, that is Brunt. Face-off coming back to ACT, picked off by Kate Barber. Kate Barber coming into the zone, taken away by Kenyon. Kenyon sending it out to other Kenyon, and out of the zone to Grace Duffy. Grace Duffy sends it back to Goonan. Jamie Goonan flicks it forward for Charlotte Kelly. Kelly trying to get that in there, keeps it in there, blocks that shot, and now coming out with
good
number
skate
17,
by,
Kenyon.
Good skate by Goonan.
Goonan is a very strong player. We're very fortunate to have her on the Queensland team. Back around to York. York, again, we know what she can do. She's pushed out slightly to the side of the net, not able to do anything with it. And Boxall is there trying to bring it around the other side. That puck wobbling just in a dangerous way. Blocked again by Kelly. Rolls out. I'm not sure if it didn't come all the way out. I can't tell if no, not offside.
Definitely inside the zone.
Not offside yet. So here we go. Kelly's now going to try to stop it again. That was nope, that was Sargent flying at it. Meyer is doing everything she can, watching both sides, and that is the end of the first period.
That snuck up on us pretty quick.
That was a continuous
not many
play.
whistles. Yeah.
Continuous play. It goes very fast.
Hard to keep the voice going on those ones sometimes.
We are 3-1 here. We have a 2-minute break. 10 shots for Queensland and 3 for ACT.
Yep, 10-3, 1 for 2 on the power play. Queensland is. No power plays yet for ACT. First period goals, number 12, York, her 8th of the tournament at 12:47, assisted by Brunt and Stokes. Then Mahoney tied it, her 7th, on a power play at 10:02 from Sinclair. Dixon then made it 2-1 from Mahoney and Brown at 5:44. And finally, Brown, the captain, from Mahoney and Watts at 1:23, made it 3-1. Mahoney and Watts are all over the score sheet today for Queensland.
How many penalties did we see from ACT in that first period?
There were 2 penalties, both to Stokes, one for interference, which resulted in the power play goal at 10:27, and then back in the box for tripping at 9:33, successfully killed by the ACT penalty killers.
When I spoke with Matt Meyer this morning, he was proud that Queensland had the least amount of penalties, but I think in that last game they picked up a number of them, so I'm not sure where they're sitting right now. But they have played a fairly clean tournament so far. I know the girls like to argue sometimes about the penalties. We know that the officials will never change their mind once a penalty is called. It's very rare anyway.
Absolutely, they won't.
Nor should they, because that could only create confusion, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, there are exceptions. I mean, they want to get it right, so if official calls a penalty that they think is a penalty and they confer and decide that, no, sorry, that was just a fall or something like that. I've seen that occur in the past, but rarely does it happen. So, good period of action as hand warmers get exchanged between the producer and the cameraman, sitting up there in the lifty for camera position, high above the ice surface.
We are changing sides now. Abbott Mannix going over to the goal. ACT has 1 goalie on their roster, so we want all the best for Abbott Mannix in this tournament. And we have Katie Meyer returning to the goal for, hopefully,
Queensland. There she is.
She hasn't come out. There she
so
is.
As I've mentioned on previous broadcasts, second period, long change. Both benches deep in the defensive zone. So when the players come onto the ice, they're in the offside position. So they'll have to be very careful on changes. Plus change when they can, not when they need to.
Queensland controls that face-off. Sinclair trying to get onto the puck. ACT trying to take it away. Georgia Watts there, now poked out by Dixon, and Powell poked it again. And Sinclair is going to try to move it out of danger. Gets it up to Watts. Watts pops that through past the ACT player, kept in on the blue line, however, and now coming out on the stick of Sinclair. Sinclair pops that down. Watts trying to get there, body in front of her. That was Kenyon. She goes around behind the net. She has Sinclair picking it up now behind the net, and ACT sends it around the boards to the other side. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of tennis in the boards. Coming out back on the stick of Watts. Watts walking through, trying to make a space. She takes a shot. Leg save from Abbott Monix. And picked up now by ACT. They come out of the zone. Powell falls down.
Like a penalty being called.
And it's going to be on Queensland, it looks like. And as soon as Dixon touches that, I did not see who it was, but it's holding on Amanda Dixon.
Yep. She tied up her player coming through the neutral zone and wasn't able to get a hold of the puck, so she'll go to the box for 2 for holding.
We'll see what the penalty kill unit can do. Queensland lost their first, their perfect penalty kill record.
100% record.
They had a 100% record for 2 seasons, and they had their first goal on a penalty kill this morning. So we'll see what they're able to do. That one controlled by ACT now. Kenyon looking for it. She passes it back to York. York tries to take a shot. Blocked by Katie Meyer. A lot of garbage right there in front of the net. Goonan backhands it out. And Courtney Mahoney fighting for it. York tries to send it back around to BOXALL. Back to York. York back to Kenyon. And Kenyon has Brunt. Brunt's taking a slapper. Saved by Meyer.
Perfect position by Meyer. Top of the crease. And square to the puck, gets it in her glove for the stoppage. Nice shot by Brunt.
Queensland changing their line.
And what's really good about that power play, they're sending the puck east-west to try and get Meyer off her post, and she was just equal to the task on that one.
That one a little bit controlled by Watson. She clears the zone. Almost won by ACT. That puck's just floating there. Not too much pressure, obviously. Barber's going to hunt a little bit. That one passed out right in front of us to Kenyon. Kenyon and Watts fighting for it into the boards. And back across to BOXALL. BOXALL settles it, gives it back to Kenyon. Again, there are 2 Kenyons on the team, and they both have E as their first initial. Back across to York. York takes a shot. Saved by Katie Meyer.
And she's tied up against the post and makes that save easily.
She's
on
a
the shot by York.
She's a conservative goalie, and I like that about her quite a lot. That's my personal preference.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's something to be said for being quiet in the goal. You see sometimes goaltenders getting too active and sliding across the crease and taking them out of the play.
BOXALL got that over to York. York back to Kenyon. Kenyon back to York. Big shot, blocked, and it hurt. You can tell that one hurt. Grace Duffy jumping up and down, but still playing. I don't know where it hit her. York back across into the boards to Brunt. Brunt making a move. She's in the boards. Gets past Powell, back over to BOXALL. Duffy trying to stop BOXALL. And Powell blocks that one. She takes a whiff at the puck and almost sets up a play. Saved by Meyer. Powell trying to clear it. And back onto the stick of BOXALL. Duffy, and saved by Brown for a moment. Now backhanded back around by York. And Meyer decides to save that puck and reset as she should.
Nice little play by BOXALL in the corner to toe drag it through the legs of the Queensland penalty killer and get it to the net.
30 seconds remaining on the power play for ACT. They have come up in shots significantly, up to 7 now.
Looks like the time clock and the penalty clock are synced on this one.
They're resetting every time there's a stoppage of play. So we know once it stops, it's looking good. At least that shot from Stokes, blocked, goes behind the net. And we're waiting to see when we're back to full strength, but we know that clock is running a little bit fast for us right now. Stokes again with the puck. She takes a shot, redirected around to Pickering. Pickering getting pressured by Watts. And Pickering still fighting for that puck. Back around the other side we go, coming out of the zone to Stokes, so that will almost do it for that penalty on Amanda Dixon, but we still are,
and
there we are.
Does.
We're back to
right
5
on 12
5.
minutes, right on 12 minutes to the end of that penalty.
That one's stopped by Sargent by her feet and pushed out by Barber, and Stokes trying to send it straight back in. Back in, around the corner it goes. Jamie Goonan sends it out, gets past number 19, Horvath. Sargent keeping it in. And
great keep in at the blue line by Sargent.
Good work. Powell now with the puck. She pushes it forward, doesn't quite get control of it. Sent out now to 17 Kenyon. Kenyon looking for someone, but Kate Barber is just being fierce today. Players getting pushed around. Powell fighting for that. Now picked up by Mahoney. Mahoney moving away from Brunt. Brunt is pretty fast, can probably match Mahoney. Mahoney gets it, tries to get it to Goonan, but instead York picks it off right out in front to Kenyon. Possible. That could have been very dangerous, but Jasmine Gray was there to scoop it out.
It was a good stick by the Queensland defender to deflect that just off of its path.
Soren Powell got over the blue line or red line and sent it in back to ACT territory where her teammates might be able to make a play, but it looks like that might float back out. It's kept in for a second, but eventually comes back out of the zone. Courtney Mahoney redirecting that, giving it back to Dixon. Dixon keeping it away from York. Up to Gray, past Gray, floating in there. It's going to go to number 16, Dowell. Dowell hits her teammate. Pickering with it, Pickering to York. York kicking it in, not offside. And a shot from Pickering, Katie Meyer.
That was a nice quick shot by Pickering as she kicked it off her skate up onto her stick and in one motion ripped it right into the chest of Meyer.
What do you call that pose that Meyer had? She looked like a little Buddha. I don't know. She's doing a little yoga pose in that. I love it.
Butterfly Buddha.
It was very cute. Boxall's taking this face off against Sinclair. That one goes to Sinclair. Duffy trying to get there, but Pickering is taking control. Pickering behind the net, looking to pass it out, and just kept in barely by Dowell, and fighting for it. Comes out of the zone. Good pressure from Georgia Watts. Picked off by Sinclair. Sinclair kicks it out to her stick. She's entering the zone. She's going to take a shot. Goes just a little bit wide of where she wanted it to, and Pickering's going to come back the other direction. Pushes it out of the zone. And Duffy almost had her stick a little bit in a dangerous position. Coming back out again to Kenyon. Kenyon sends it back into the corners and around to Goonan. Goonan has a moment, not too long. Other Kenyon's coming for her. Duffy there looking for a pass out. That one was blocked. And she's getting a little bit of support from Barber. BOXALL is relentless.
Like a dog on a bone, and she takes her player down.
She's going to go for a penalty as soon as as soon as they get control of the puck. But here goes Georgia Watts up the left-hand side of the ice. Players trying to stop her. She has control. She pops that up in the air. She's been trying to pick up her own rebound. She's still in control of that puck. She takes another shot. And finally, a whistle.
There's a fine line between that aggressive play and penalties, and unfortunately, BOXALL got her stick in the legs of the Queensland player, and down she went in the corner.
Tripping penalty, 2 minutes on Stephanie BOXALL. That will come off at 7:09 or sooner. So we will keep 7:09. We've been writing on the glass so the players are aware of that. That face-off won by Brunt, and back around it goes to the other side and picked up by Kenyon. Dixon holding her and trying to get that puck out. Pops out for a moment and cleared by ACT all the way down to the other side. Alt captain Courtney Mahoney going to pick it up. Waiting to see who's available to her. She has Brown. Brown picks it up on the blue line just outside of the Queensland zone, and she wants to pass it across to Watts, and it's kicked back down again by ACT. Mahoney's going to go there. She's got York coming at her quickly. Mahoney gets there first, comes around behind the net. Giving Courtney Mahoney space is a free ticket for Courtney Mahoney, and here she comes. She can create that space when she wants to. She is getting around Kenyon. She's going to come to the other side around other Kenyon. She's going to leave it for Dixon. Dixon has a shot. That one couldn't go where they wanted it to, and now York again with that puck. She tries to knock it out. It was blocked momentarily by Mahoney. Amanda Dixon's going to collect. She's going to ACT going for a change. She sends it across to Charlotte Kelly. Kelly moving it out of the zone, has Pickering in front of her, gets it up to, I can't see who that is for some reason. Shot taken, just went past the leg pads. I think that was Sinclair. Sinclair normally has her jersey tucked in, so I didn't recognize. Here we go. ACT flips it out. Dixon can't bat it down fast enough. What did I say? 7:09? 7:09. So we've got 30 seconds remaining on the power play for Queensland. They're up to 12 shots, but they haven't done much with it this time. ACT quite effective on the penalty kill, sending it up the boards. back to Barber, back into the zone for Dixon. Dixon has Mahoney. She hits Mahoney's stick. Mahoney comes in, but it's taken away by ACT, by Stokes. That one bounces back again. Trying to wear out the Queensland special teams at the moment. They're going to get tired just going back and forth, chasing that puck. And then back.
You can say it.
I got taken out by the gate.
Right on the toe.
I wasn't paying attention. I've got to have my hockey sense about me now. Duffy chasing that down. We're even strength. Duffy sends it around the boards. Big battle in the boards in front of the ACT bench. And Kenyon was there. Mahoney gets past Stokes this time. She gets around Sargent. She's going in. She shoots, but it hits the boards. It takes an official out at the same time. The crowd loves that. The Tange team is cheering. McMahon had her stick on that for a hot second. BOXALL entering the zone now. BOXALL trying to create space. Duffy got her skate in the way and is pressing Kenyon out to the boards, and she leaves it behind for Sinclair. Sinclair now trying to set a pass. You know, ACT is really good at getting in the way. Every time there's a pass, there's a body in the way. McMahon now entering the zone, trying to get around Stokes. And she's moving behind the boards. She gets it right out front, but Kelly couldn't take a shot. Shot from Goonan, save, hobbling puck. Good opportunity there. McMahon still fighting for it against BOXALL. And the puck not moving yet. Charlotte Kelly going in to help. BOXALL comes out with it. She's going to move forward, sending it up past Stokes and over to York. York gets past Renee Perry, and she's going to start moving the other way. That one back to Kenyon. Kenyon hit by Abby Brown. Abby Brown takes the puck away, pops it out, but Sargent keeps it in. Back into the corner for Grace Duffy. Grace Duffy and Kenyon. Grace Duffy sends it out to the other side, but her players are not there, not sure why. Brunt is there, however, so Brunt has that, and she just gives it past. Duffy sends it back out again, and Diamantina Dowell was there where Courtney Mahoney picked it up, and it's a one-on-one. Poked away by Kenyon. Scooped up by York. York sends it over to 16 Dowell, and now we're entering in ACT 2-on-0. Saved by Meyer, and the second one was a goal.
Yeah, Meyer unfortunate on that one, and she got the pad down to make the initial save, and there for the rebound, I believe that was number 7, Pickering, and she buries it under the pad for a 3-2 now Queensland lead.
Probably Kenyon for the assist. Number 77.
I think it was 77 for the assist. We'll find out what eSports Desk says, giving them a plug. I think Brunt had something to do with that as well, but I'm not sure.
Still 3-2, but shots have come up extensively for ACT. We are at 13 shots for Queensland and 10 for ACT. Queensland needs to get a fire going if they want to stay in this and keep their dream alive to go to the gold medal. Powell now sending that across to Dixon. And Pickering on fire from that goal she just got. She gets it back over to Dixon. Dixon sends it down the ice. It's rolling towards the goal. They've said no. Not going to go far enough anyway. Opportunity for Brown. Brown shoots. Rebound. Not available to her. ACT takes control. I think that was Sargent who stopped that rebound. Dixon sending it back into the corner. And Sargent going there. Coming back out the other side for Powell. Powell settles it. Sends it back to the corner. Not able to get it to Brown, and coming out now of the zone to Dixon. Dixon has time. She sends it back in. Georgia Watts trying to get there. Sent out to the blue line. Oh, just a little bit offside by Brown, but she's going for a change. The goalie doesn't want to play the puck. I don't know if it was stuck in her leg pad or what happened, but it's finally been whistled.
I believe it was stuck in the equipment. That shot by, was it Brown that had it in front? A nice save by the goaltender. She went down on the butterfly and got it on her pads and directed the rebound into the corner. That goal, Pickering, her third of the tournament at 5:03, assisted by Brunt and Dowell to make the score 3-2.
Here we go. Queensland with another opportunity. Kept away, however, I think by Brunt. That one coming up around the boards to Mahoney. Mahoney trying to take a shot, goes around the other side. Boonen's coming in. She blocks that with her body and whiffs on the puck. Trying again. She's going to keep going for it. Leaves it behind, though, for York. York setting up a play, gives it to Brunt. Nice pressure from Kate Sinclair. Her stick's wrapped up under Brunt's body. Stephanie BOXALL, the captain, moving in now. Goonan trying to flick that away from her. And BOXALL is just so undeterred. She's down.
She's drawn a penalty.
It'll be on Jamie Goonan this time.
Goonan. We get
It's not
2 for
not
tripping.
for us. It won't be for us, I don't think. We have the ACT team coming here.
Oh, that's right.
So, Chris was eager to welcome Jamie Goonan to the box, but she will go to the other box where there are no commentators.
That's what happens when you're commentating and penalty box attendant. Sometimes you get distracted and confused as to what you're actually supposed to do.
We are multitasking. Penalty kill line coming out. They were at 91% on the penalty kill, and so far haven't made a mistake yet here. BOXALL tried to win that, but it was won by Queensland. Shot by Brunt. Big mess in front of the net. Cleared by Dixon. She sends it all the way down. Kenyon's going for it, and Georgia Watts is just forechecking a little bit gently, having a look to see what she can do. That one pops back out to the blue line to York. York sending it out to Kenyon. Watts takes it straight back and sends it right back down. Let's make the ACT skate for it, she says. She gives it back to Kenyon. Kenyon now setting up another pass, just goes past York's stick. Opportunity for Watts to get it back, and there it goes. Duffy sends it straight back. Kenyon now setting up another play, sending it across to the other side, over to York. York tries to get it to Kenyon. BOXALL has it. BOXALL trying to control that. She's very good at keeping the puck away from the other players and protecting it. Through the legs to Meyer and a save.
Oh, and that bounces up into her pad. As right in front is Kenyon. Gets that deflection on the shot across the crease. And Meyer had to be careful on that one.
1:05 remaining on the power play for ACT. The score is 3-2. Shots are 14-11 in favor of Queensland. ACT is going to throw everything they have at them right now in this last minute of this power play. BOXALL against Mahoney. BOXALL wins the face-off, gets it back, blocked by Sinclair, I think. That one bobbles past, and Sinclair's going to pick it up. Hopefully she'll be able to dump it. She pops it up in the air, goes past Barber, back to Sinclair, and out of the zone, causing Kenyon to reset. Kenyon sending it across. I think that was to Brunt, and that one going in deep. Sinclair's going to get there first. She takes it away from Mutton. Sending it around the boards goes up to Brunt. Brunt, the scoring leader. We'll see what she can do. Blocked by several players and coming back out of the zone, hopefully with Mahoney. Mahoney shuts it down, sends it straight back to the other end. Not sure how much time is left on that penalty at the moment because that clock is running down really quickly.
Gets on at 1:34.
Okay,
so 30 seconds.
20
seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds remaining. Brunt, nope, Kenyon shovels it in, stopped by Powell. Powell sends it straight back to Mahoney. Mahoney stopped by number 13 momentarily, Mutton. And Watts brings it into the zone. Coming back out again is Kenyon. Kenyon taps it across. Looks like Sinclair's going to try to get there. Georgia Watts using her body to stop the other players from doing anything. York making a move. And Brown trying to stop. And we've gone back to even strength, have we?
Yep.
Back to even strength.
Even strength!
So the referee says in front of us. Oh, it's nice and clear. He had a good smile there. I laughed at him. All right, ACT trying to get back into their territory, and Powell keeps it away, but goes back to the stick of Sargent. Sargent sends it straight back in behind Meyer. 1:04 remaining in the second period. ACT wants to do something. Here we are, fighting for it in the boards. Jamie Goonan and Abby Brown fishes it out, gets it over to Sinclair, leaves it for Brown. There's just some tiny little lapses for Queensland. Slow reaction time for some of these plays. Brown off the boards, just gets past the stick of Kenyon, sent across to the other side, causing ACT Pickering to send it back in if she can. Sinclair has it. Sinclair will be wanting a change. She hits Kelly. Kelly taps it into the zone. She gets past Sargent, but Stokes is there. Big shot and a floating puck. So Abbott Mannix has been leaving some pretty big rebounds. Queensland will be wanting to send 2 players whenever they can. That time Powell stopped that, but wasn't able to completely stop the play.
That was a huge rebound.
Back we go again, Kenyon. Powell fighting for it, using her body as much as she can to push her off of that puck, but the other ACT player, Brunt, brings it out. 4 seconds remaining in the period, and Perry's there, and that's the period.
Into 2, 3-2 for Queensland as they threatened to get away with it and take over this game. And ACT came back, pressured it, and closed the gap on the shots. 15-11, the total shots on goal so far. And in that second period, New South Wales ACT out shooting Queensland 7-3. Queensland 1 for 3 now on the power play. ACT 0 for 1. That goal by Pickering, assisted by Brunt and Dowell to make it 3-2 at 5:03. We'll have a break for an ice cut, and we'll be back at the start of the third for what will be a very exciting period of action to finish off this semifinal game. Welcome back to Cockburn Ice Arena, hockey fans. This is Chris Langella along with Amy Hubble on the play-by-play. Third period coming up in this semifinal action between the ACT team and Queensland in this 2025 Steph BOXALL National Championship. The winner of this game will go to the gold medal and the loser to the bronze. That period, Pickering from Brunt and Dowell made it 5-3 at 5:03. And Dixon with the penalty for holding at 14 minutes. BOXALL for tripping at 9:09. And Goonan for tripping at 3:35. Both teams in action now from the opening faceoff.
I can imagine that the coaches had a good chat with each of these teams trying to energize them to get them moving. I understood I thought from watching Queensland they were missing a little bit of communication with each other. That said, I know a number of them don't even have a voice to communicate at the moment from all the screaming.
I was talking briefly to Courtney Mahoney, and she could barely talk.
She has no voice. She's one of them, but there's a number of them with no voice right now. Queensland got that into ACT territory now. We'll get back to the play-by-play. York picking it up off of the boards and sending it across out of the zone. Mahoney is there. She's not able to get to the puck on time, but Dixon's going to chase that down to not get an icing call. She has that, sends it around the boards to Powell. Powell pops it up in the air. She backhands it out to Gray. Gray is standing there, sends it out of the zone to Mahoney, but Kenyon's going to get there first. She pops it past Mahoney, back to Brown. Brown back to Mahoney. Mahoney settles the puck, and she's going to enter the zone. She's having a look, takes a shot, goes a little bit wide, pops out of the other side, past Gray to BOXALL. BOXALL entering the territory, flings it down back behind the net for Goonan. Goonan collecting it, sends it back to Duffy. Duffy sends a pass up to Gray, just goes past her stick, unfortunately, and that will likely be an icing call. Icing on Queensland.
Yeah, that second period, you could tell that Queensland were just a bit out of sorts, and sometimes that happens when you've got two players in the team with the skill of Mahoney and Watts with the speed they have. Sometimes their teammates aren't able to catch up, and sometimes they just go too fast, and they just need to learn to delay occasionally and be a bit more patient with the puck in order to make it all work. Plus the communication, which is so important.
BOXALL popped that out into a dangerous position. Pickering now controlling the puck, keeping her out to the board. She has BOXALL behind the net, but it looks like Mutton out front in front of Goonan. Goonan keeping patrol there in front of the net. And BOXALL BOXALL falls over on top of Brown, and now Mahoney with an opportunity just with Stokes. Stokes pokes that away from her. Nice play from Stokes. Stokes moves it out of the zone. Watts picks it up to take it back in, and here comes Georgia Watts. Shot goes, I think, hits the shoulder of the goalie, and back out the other side to Sinclair. Sinclair to Goonan. Goonan keeping it in, sends it back into Watts. Watts trying to move around, getting it to Sinclair. This is the top line for Queensland. Sinclair shot, just right across the leg pads of Abbott Monix. Good effort from Queensland. Nice save from Abbott Monix. And ACT not able to enter the territory. Sargent sends it back to the skate of Kenyon, and we have players going for a change. Meanwhile, Queensland taking control. That one took a weird bounce in the wrong direction, and Barber has to make some space. She's got Brunt following her. Still with Barber. Barber trying to get that to safety, and it's left behind for York, which is not what Queensland wants to see. York is a strong player. She takes a shot, just kind of trickled through, and a save by Katie Meyer.
Yeah, definitely York has those skill moves that can make things happen. We saw that on her goal earlier in the first period.
Queensland going for a change. Strong line for strong line. We have Mahoney and Brown out there again. It looks like we're just cycling through two lines at the moment for Queensland, and picked up by York. York taking a shot, goes behind. Powell fighting for it, picked up by Brown, just sent out dangerously, but goes to Mahoney's stick, and Mahoney's a one-on-one right now. You know she can go around just about anyone. She takes a shot and picks it up again. And coming around the other side, Jasmine Gray right out front right there, trying to pick up the garbage. Can't do it. Back out to York. York taps that out over to Kenyon. Powell fighting her for it. Dixon pushing it away from her. Two players in front of her. Powell keeps it away. Both players collide into the boards. Brown off of the boards, gets it back out to Mahoney. Out of the zone. Opportunity for Mahoney if she can get there. She does. She's got no one in front of her except the goalie. Oh, and she just missed that. Backhand popped out again, waiting for a Queensland player to get there. Didn't. BOXALL takes control. BOXALL gets past Perry to Pickering. Pickering on Duffy. Duffy blocks that shot, passes it out. Now to Amanda Dixon. Dixon out to Stokes. Stokes sending it back. And there's a call. It is tripping.
Queensland drew a penalty and into the box.
Not Queensland.
Or
ACT.
drew. Queensland drew it. ACT gets it.
Yep, there we go. Sorry, we have Pickering entering the box with us for tripping.
And she'll be out at 8:59.
Timeout. Timeout for Queensland. So, do they have a moment to regroup? Okay. Yeah, I just don't know if Pickering's allowed to come out of the box or not during that.
She can during a timeout if she wants.
I think she doesn't mind. So she's listening. She can hear her team probably from where she's standing, so that's probably all right. So Queensland's trying to get organized. They'll hopefully sensibly use this timeout. There's 4 seconds remaining on it. ACT coming out strong again. Queensland barely in the lead, 3-2 with 16 shots to 12, and they are on a penalty kill.
Both teams.
I mean a power play. I'm sorry. Yeah. Queensland's on a power play.
Queensland's on a power play. Both teams with their opportunities in that early part of the third period. Now Queensland with the opportunity on the power play.
Queensland sending out Sinclair, Brown, and Mahoney, Dixon, and Watts. What a power line they have put out to play. Those are all of their top players right there, all their score getters on the ice at the same time. And that one won by Brunt and controlled by ACT. Stopped behind by Brown. Brown fighting for it with Brunt. Brunt falls down. Sinclair takes it out, sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney settling the puck, gives it to Watts. Watts trying to get it back. Oh, just picked off again by Brunt. And Brunt's going to chase that down. But Watts is watching. I don't think that she can get it to Kenyon, but you never know. Kenyon's right there in the slot in the right spot. Georgia Watts sending it back around the other way. Bounces off of Kenyon's body. Watts picks it up. She's coming back the ice the other way. She's watching Sinclair. Sinclair entering from the other side. They cross over in front of each other. A shot, a rebound, and finally frozen.
As Watts goes down, as she and number 24 collide just inside the blue line.
Friendly fire, friendly collision, all good.
All laughter.
Sinclair's going to take the face off now again against Brunt. That one won by Sinclair. Goes back to McMahon. Oh no, sorry, Watts. I keep thinking it says 28. Dixon with the puck now. Dixon taking time. ACT not really keen to overly engage with any of the Queensland players. Dixon goes off the boards and around to Sinclair. Up onto the ledge and back down again. Sinclair trying to make some space. Leaves it behind for Watts. Watts fighting York for it now. She's using her feet. York also using her feet. Watts sits down and York comes out with it. But Sinclair's going to fight for it now. So that's one way to kill the penalty. That puck's not going anywhere. Sinclair's getting moved by York. Watts, Brown, trying to help Brown, digs it out, sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney, shot, save, I think. I'm not sure what that hit.
That just went wide, got deflected in front behind the goal.
Brown, just gonna maybe send it back to Dixon. Brown to Dixon. Dixon, back to Brown. Brown looking. She has Sinclair out front. Shot. Oh, Sinclair just couldn't get fast enough on that. Possibly interrupted. We're waiting to another shot going up and over the net. We're waiting for Pickering to come out of the penalty box, so we have a little bit of happenings here in the commentary booth. Back again, we go to Mahoney. Mahoney settles it on the blue line, and Pickering even strength now. Watts back to Mahoney. So there is one real defender on the ice, and that is Amanda Dixon, and she's controlling that puck, keeping it away, while her team goes for a line change. Kenyon sending it around the boards now, trying to set up a new play. Mutton is there, BOXALL is there, and Kelly coming in. That got past Goonan, so Duffy is the only one back there with Kelly. Popping that out to BOXALL. BOXALL staying behind the net. Queensland doing a nice job of pressing the players around the boards, so no good shots, quality shots can come off. That one was blocked and deflected. BOXALL trying to do a backhand save by Meyer, and Queensland scurrying to get there. Sending it out now. Barber sends it out. Picked back up by Pickering. Blocked by Kelly. Pickering picks it up again. Back around Barber. Barber using her body to stop her. Trying to be careful not to get a penalty herself. Duffy angling back around. Boxall again behind the net. We see Boxall behind the net all the time. We've got Pickering right out front if she can get to her. Duffy gets there now. She's stopping it from Boxall, changing direction. And she's sending a big pass around to the other side to Goonan. Goonan trying to get it out. Gets past Sargent and coming down the ice in the other direction now. 7:46 in the third. Sargent moving it. Goonan has it. She gives it to Mahoney. Mahoney gets around Boxall. Mahoney coming in. Leaves it behind. Stokes with an opportunity. Stokes energized by that. Sends it off back around to Powell. Powell passes it forward to Mahoney. Mahoney off of the boards. Chasing Sargent. Sargent uses the boards and gets it out to York. York passing it across to Kenyon. Kenyon entering the zone, poked away by Goonan back to York. York re-enters the zone. Poked by Brown, but not able to get there. And Powell, big trip on Powell.
She gets taken down.
Powell will be going to the penalty box for 2 minutes, but she saved the goal, perhaps.
That was a great stick by Stokes just inside the ACT blue line that saved a sure goal. Mahoney, she doesn't miss it when she gets in on net alone, and poked it off her stick out of the zone, went back the other way and created the opportunity for ACT in the Queensland zone.
We'll see 2 minutes on Soren Powell, what the actual call is for tripping. Soren Powell's second penalty of the tournament, first penalty for this game, and again we'll check out the the penalty kill unit for Queensland. Georgia Watts getting that face-off, but ACT wins it, and coming back to ACT now. York takes a shot, hits the post. Dixon got a stick on that, but ACT was fighting for it. Back out to Kenyon. Kenyon sending a pass across outside of the zone, and an opportunity for Georgia Watts. She kicks it out front, but there are 3 ACT players in front of her. Not wanting to over-engage. That one sent out. Back to the other side, over to Brunt. Brunt has Duffy in front of her. A few players right out front. That shot went high and over into the other corner. Kenyon picking it up. Kenyon backhands it to other Kenyon. Kenyon sending it across. I think that's Boxall. Boxall looking to take a shot. She does. Blocked, and I think that was blocked in front of the net. I'm not sure that touched Katie Meyer.
No, that went off the stick of Mayer in front.
Oh, it did hit Katie Meyer. Okay, her stick. All right. Dixon using her body now. Boxall sending it back out, trying to get a Brunt. Oh, good leg save from Katie Meyer. Dixon says, I'm going to clear this one now. Enough of that nonsense. We don't know, I don't know how much time is left on that penalty. It's run out on the clock, but I'm sure it's still going.
Back on 5:09, so just over 50 seconds.
All right, 50 seconds remaining. Stephanie Boxall making a play now, coming in on the right-hand side of the ice, being watched by Captain Abby Brown. Abby Brown pokes it away from her, and she's going to go pick that up, backhand it out, but it's going to hit Stokes right on the blue line. Stokes keeps it in. Sends it back around behind the play for Grace Duffy, and Boxall's coming at Duffy and almost gets it out, but Pickering stops it. Back to Boxall. Boxall and Mahoney now. Courtney Mahoney, no stranger to defense. She's drawing in Boxall and takes a big shot, stopped on the blue line, rolls out. Stokes made a good play there. Now number 19, Horvath, and Mutton. Mutton throwing everything at Duffy, but the puck comes out and back down the ice to Sargent. Sargent sends it in on the opposite side. Amanda Dixon swinging at it. Her stick is stuck in Pickering. She leaves her stick behind and kicks the puck out of danger. Nice play by Dixon.
All even.
We are even strength now, and that puck is just floating there. There are too many Queensland players tied up front, and Meyer makes a nice save in front of the net, and back to her Buddha. What did we call it? The Buddha butterfly.
Buddha butterfly. Yeah.
Back to the Buddha butterfly.
Yeah, that shot from, I believe that's number 19 for ACT.
No name on the jersey. Her name is Horvath. I think she was a late addition to the roster. Going back to Goonan. Goonan tripped down, no arms in the air, so that's all good. And coming out with it now is Georgia Watts up the left-hand side of the ice, her specialty. She's going to enter the zone. Sargent is watching her. Stokes is down. Watts to the other side, takes a shot, hits the goalie, big rebound opportunity, tapped out by Sinclair. Another shot by Watts, leg saved by Abbott Monix. Watts picks it up again. Watts doing everything she can. She pushes through Pickering. She's pushing past Sargent. Sargent pulls her down, still no arms in the air. And ACT wanting to clear that. They finally find an opening and get it out to Goonan. Goonan sends it straight back in, bounces off 2 ACT players in front of us. And I know she has a hard shot. Now Kenyon coming up the boards, Powell angling her and pressing her out. She stops, changes direction. Sinclair assisting. Sinclair now gets it away from York, kicking it out, and picked up again by the ACT player on the blue line. Directed behind the goalie, takes a shot right on to Meyer and the butterfly, and a lot of whistles.
Yeah, that was a nice little spin around shot from the corner by Mahoney, I believe it was, that Mayer had to be very careful on.
Shots have come up even now, 18-18. It's a low shot game compared to what we've seen here previously in the tournament. And the score is 3-2 in favor of Queensland, 3:47 remaining. Face off. Number 23, Abby Brown. I'm not sure who that was for ACT, and all the captain, looks like it was Brunt. That puck is going everywhere. None of the wingers for Queensland dare come away. They're just collapsing in right now on the puck. Mahoney gets it out past BOXALL. And here comes Lisa McMahon. Lisa McMahon in the zone. She leaves it behind for Mahoney. Mahoney takes a shot. That one into the boards and around for Abby Brown. Abby Brown fighting for that with York. York and BOXALL. BOXALL comes out with it. She's moving across. She sends it across to the other side. It bounces, stays in, and comes out, hits Mahoney, and also hits Kenyon. Back to Dixon, gets past Dixon, picked up by Mahoney. Mahoney changing direction, keeping away from Brunt. Brunt fighting for it. Brunt comes away with it, and she wants to get out front. She sets up a shot, saved by Meyer.
What a toe save.
That was beautiful. Kenyon now back to Kenyon. Kenyon to Kenyon, back to Dixon. Dixon looking to move it behind. She has Duffy with her. Back out to Kenyon, 77 Kenyon. She sends it in, again stopped by Dixon. Dixon having a fantastic game. Kenyon 17, back to Duffy. Duffy sends it the other way, and we know number 77, Kenyon's going to keep it in, and she does. She sends it back around to her sister, Kenyon. So it's the Kenyon-Dixon show at the moment. Dixon, she's going to be exhausted. Stopped again almost by Kenyon 77. A big trip from BOXALL onto Mahoney. And Sinclair also tripped up. I think we're going to see BOXALL back in the penalty box.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate play as she made the play for the puck and just took the legs out from underneath the Queensland player. And she'll set for 2 or less with 2:19 to go in the period.
Unfortunate time to have a power play. If you're ACT, Queensland will be doing everything they can in this 5-on-4 to make something happen. That penalty will end at 19 seconds or earlier. Mahoney was going to change but comes back. She's going to play defense now. Face-off won by Brown. Back to Watts. Watts to Goonan. Goonan making space. Shaking off number 13, Mutton. Back to Barber. Around the other side to Watts. Pickering getting in the way. Pickering really getting in the way. Pops up into the air. Comes down for Brown. Brown and Pickering. Pickering giving a little hug with her stick to Brown. That one back in control almost by Watts and Sargent. Sargent fighting for it. They're just going to kill that penalty by pressing them into the boards. Right out front, right across, in front of Barber. Barber couldn't do much. Barber backhands it, leaves it for Brown. Brown having to get past Sargent. She has Goonan. Back to Goonan. Goonan sends it across to Mahoney. Mahoney, nope, bounces out, and a turnover for Pickering possibly. No, Mahoney gets there first. Queensland eager to do something. Mahoney's specialty now is with speed and grace. She takes a shot just wide, picked up by Brown, and not able to do something with that either. She hit the back post, and back to Mahoney again to re-enter. She waits for Brown to leave. Mahoney will be tired soon. 1:10 remaining in the period. Not much remaining in that penalty, maybe less than a minute. And the line has changed. We have Kelly out there and Watts, and that puck is going to fly down for Amanda Dixon to collect. Amanda Dixon, Ebony Brunt chasing her. Dixon sends it forward, gets past Kenyon, goes back to York. York will send it back, blocked by the body of Barber. And she decides to go, collides with Watts. Watts is pressing, big hit by Kenyon. Watts into Kenyon. Kenyon 77 sends it out to Brunt. Brunt settling the puck on the blue line. Stopped by Kelly. She's trying to get behind Kelly. She does. She comes around. She's still short-handed, and she's trying to make a good play for that. Short-handed mess in the Queensland territory is not what you want to see at this moment. And finally, we
just about took Amy's toes off.
We let BOXALL out of the box, and she made a play for it. Shot by Sinclair, hit the post, and a save by Abbott Mannix. Shots 20 Queensland, 19 ACT. I only need my toes for probably one more game after this one, hopefully.
Hey, I can't feel mine anyway, so.
No, me neither. The pain.
8 seconds to go in this period.
Timeout ACT, I think. Is that what I heard?
Believe, possibly, yes. Timeout for ACT.
All right, so catching a breather. 20 seconds on the clock left for that timeout. Those timeouts go really fast, so they have to be really quick in what they decide to do.
They do. They probably got it all pre-planned for just such a situation, so they'll be discussing it on the bench with the key players. If in the event of an overtime, they will play a 10-minute overtime period, 2 5-minute halves to that overtime period, and if it's still tied, they'll go to a 5-round shootout. If it's still tied, it goes to a sudden death shootout, and they reverse the order of the shootout. That's my understanding of things from referee Owen Coral.
I'll ask another question later if I need to. That one controlled by Brown. Dumped out. And Goonan chasing it, Mahoney chasing it, Pickering chasing it, and that's the game. Queensland comes away with a victory. 1v4. They're going to the grand final tomorrow for the gold medal match.
Good play, and I was only commenting on the overtime just in case ACT did get out of the zone. I didn't have a momentary lapse of memory that the score wasn't tied.
No. I was curious to know about that, and I was also curious, would they play 3-on-3 or would they play 5-on-5 for that overtime?
Ah, good point. I think it's 3-on-3.
I love watching some 3-on-3 hockey, but any mistake is a big mistake when you're doing that.
That's right. So game-winning goal in that second period, Pickering from Brunt and Dowell. First period, York from Brunt and Stokes, Mahoney from Sinclair, Dixon from Mahoney and Brown, Brown from Mahoney and Watts, and Pickering, Brunt, and Dowell in that third period to make it 3-2 for Queensland. Penalties in the third period, Pickering for tripping at 10:58, Powell for tripping at 7:09, and then BOXALL in the box for tripping at 2:19. That pretty much killed the end of the period for ACT and the game. Final shots on goal in that period. ACT out-shooting Queensland again 8-5 for a 3-period total, 20-19 in favor of Queensland. They were 1 for 5 on the power play. ACT 0 for 3. Final score in this first semifinal, Queensland 3, ACT 2. Queensland will go to the gold medal game tomorrow, ACT to the bronze. And that will do it for today's first semifinal. Coming up shortly, the second semifinal between Western Australia and South Australia. I'll be leaving you now and leaving it in the hands of Rick Cooper and James Versluis. They'll bring you that semifinal number 2 between WA and South Australia to see who goes up against Queensland in tomorrow's gold medal final. So,
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for letting me be here. I'm so appreciative, and it's been great. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and look forward to listening to you on the Lightning broadcasts in the future.
Thank you, and you on the Thunder.
And with that, this is Chris Langell for Cass Edwards and Riley Langell on the camera, and A.B. Hubble on the play-by-play. We'll see you next time.